Welcome back. Yesterday we did our array models, and in the array models they had you write an equation that you solved in multiplication and that same equation but in division form. So naturally our transition today is going to be to divide whole numbers by fractions. In your student book, you've got a fruit pizza problem. Okay. And on Khan Academy, you should have some practices dividing with fractions. And I'll remind us the steps actually. Why don't I write that down up at the top, which we have divided fractions before. So remember our step 1, keep. Okay. Step 2, change the division to multiplication. And step 3, flip the remaining fraction. Okay. Now, obviously, as you can see here, not all of these have fractions in them. Actually, only one of them has fractions. And the reason why I'm putting my objectives up at the top is to kind of help with these types of word problems and seeing what order of operation or what operation to use, not order of operation, like multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. In our fruit pizza problem, we've got a table, and I know I wrote these out of order. I'm going to start with one of the easier examples and then go into one of the more difficult ones. Basically, what our fruit pizza problem is telling us is that Lisa, her parents own a bakery, and they make fruit pizzas. So, I have handpicked, there's more than this, and you'll have to complete the rest of the table, but these are good examples of the type of math you are going to need to do as you finish the rest of the table. It is set up pretty much exactly like this, just different order. Basically what this is asking us to do is there's a note, and I would show you mine, but I have written all over it, as you can see. It says note right before the number 1. It says the cups of fruit are divided, this is where I'm getting my division, are divided evenly among the number of pizzas for that kind of fruit. So I'm going to tell you right now that they are starting with the fruit. You can't have a fruit pizza without the fruit. So you can't start with the pizza with all the fruit on it. You have to start with just the fruit. This means in my division problem that I'm creating from this table, with blueberries, for example, I'm starting with blueberries. And it says cups of fruit. Okay, so I have 237 cups of fruit that I'm going to divide among 79 pizzas. So the math that I am trying to do is 237 divided by 79. Now, I can set this up like long division and use Miss Valuer's method of, I'm going to cover up all the numbers except for the very first digit. Can 79 go into 2? No, right? It's too big. Can 79 go into 23? No, it is also bigger than 23. So now I'm just back at the beginning. So long division in this case probably is not going to work. What I would do is I'm going to start trying to guess with multiplication. Let me just flip open to my page again. I'm going to guess again with multiplication. All right, first thing Miss Valerie does, since her favorite number is 10, is I always ask myself, okay, if I'm trying to get something times 79 needs to equal 237. I always guess 10 first, but that's because it's one of the numbers that we know a trick for when we multiply. If I do 79 times 10, I'm going to move the decimal point one place to the right, aka it's going to look like you added a 0, and that's going to give me 790. That's way too high. So I'm going to start with something really low. Okay. I know if I did, let's say, 70 times 2. 7 times 2 is 14. That'll give me 140. That's too low. So it needs to be higher than 2. So I'm going to try 79 times 3. 9 times 3 is going to give you 27. Oh, there's a 7 and a 7. Looking good. 3 times 7 is 21. Plus 2. 21, 22, 23. 23. Oh, look at that. I got it. So, my answer for this problem is going to be the answer to 237 divided by 79. It's going to give me the cups of fruit per pizza. 3 cups of blueberries on 1 pizza. Okay. The reason why we did that division is because this is giving me how many cups of fruit fit on 79 pizzas. But what I'm trying to do is figure out how many cups of fruit fit on only 1. Okay, so in order to do that, you have to divide. Okay, so I wrote in blue because it's blueberries. For kiwi, all right. At first, looking at 42 and 28, those seem like that's going to be some version of twice the amount of size. So my math here, again, I have 42 cups of fruit spread out onto 28 pizzas. Okay, and I'm trying to figure out how many cups of fruit fit on only one of those pizzas. So again, my math, 42 divided by 28. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what times 28 equals 42. Well, I know that 20 times 2 is 40, so I'm going to try 28 times 2. It's got to get me close. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 56. That's too high. So what this is telling me is my answer here needs to be between 1 and 2. So it can't be 2 because it's too high. So I know it has to be 1. I'm going to need a fraction of a cup. Okay. And in order to do that, I'm just going to pick one of the fractions that's a lot easier. And I'm going to tell you these are going to be very basic fractions. So don't be thinking of something crazy like 1/32. Like, it's going to be a low one. So the fraction I'm going to try is I'm going to try 1 and 1/2. Okay? But I need to check if 1 and 1/2 times 28 does equal 42. So in order to do that, I'm going to need to create 1 1/2, and I'm going to need to turn it into an improper fraction. Now to do that, I'm going to take 1 1/2. I'm going to turn it into an improper fraction. So my process for that is I'm going to multiply 2 times 1, which is 2, and then I'm going to add 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3, and I'm going to keep the denominator the same, 2. 3 halves, okay, equals 1 1/2. All right. And I know that because if I drew halves and colored in 1 whole and 1/2, I should have colored in 1, 2, 3 of those halves. Okay. Now again, I'm trying to check if 3 halves times 28 equals 42. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to 3 halves times 28 is a whole number. And we know that if we put it over 1, it makes it a fraction. 28 times over 1. And then I'm going to multiply across. I know 2 times 1 is 2. And then 28 times 3 I'm going to do on the side. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8. 74. Oh, sorry. I said 8. 6, 7, 8. 84. 84. Now, fractions. To simplify this, a fraction is a division problem. 84 divided by 2 to give me the whole number, because the top is, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So 84 divided by 2. Okay. All I have to do is think, okay, what's 4 divided by 2? 2. And what's 8 divided by 2? 4. 42. Did I get 42? Yes. Then my answer here is 1 1/2 of a cup fits on 1 pizza. Okay. Great. For pineapple, we're already lucky here doing our division. We already have the fraction. We don't have to guess what the fraction is. So we're doing 2 divided by 1/2. And I have my steps up here. Keep. You're going to keep the first number. Change the division to multiplication and flip the last number so that the 2 is on top and the 1 is on the bottom. Okay? All I need to do is make this whole into a fraction by putting it over 1 and multiply straight across. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. Any whole number over 1 equals itself. 4. Pineapple. 4 cups of pineapple fit on half a pizza. Okay. And last but not least, I want you to notice